Welcome to another episode of Into the Pop, the weekly show where I review different pieces of media, what they meant to me, and how they've changed and added flavor to the stew of my life. Today we're talking about No Other Choice. As always, I'll start with a spoiler free look at what I thought was good, then what I thought was bad, and finish off with spoilers to discuss the themes and details that resonated with me. With that in mind, let's start off with the good. No Other Choice was a movie that surprised me. I had no idea I would like it as much as I did. The basic premise of a man who gets laid off from his job and tries to find another one in Korea was honestly, I had no idea. I had no expectations going through it, and I know there was going to be some violence in order to get a job because, let's be honest, to get ahead, you need to break a few eggs, right? But I had no idea that this movie would be as funny as it was. I think the overall premise, which I will get spoilers later on, was hilarious. It was a dark comedy, and I really appreciated that aspect about it. I think the characters were very well done and very well acted, and were very authentic representations of many people. The cinematography of the movie was great as well. I think it was a beautifully shot film. I think the overall narrative was fantastic, and I would recommend anyone to watch this movie because I had a really great time with it. But that's sort of the simple stuff about what I thought was good about the movie. And now let's discuss some of the bad. And to be honest, I don't really have much bad things to say about the movie because, especially not with getting into spoilers, the only bad thing that I can really say about the movie is it is a little gruesome in some parts, just more like serial killer vibes. So if that's not your cup of tea, then you probably shouldn't watch those little scenes. But they're very minute in this movie. And I will say majority of the movie I absolutely loved. It was a whole roller coaster of a ride that again I struggle to try to think of anything that I thought was bad with the movie because for me it was great. I loved the movie wholeheartedly. So just with all that in mind, I'll give you a quick summary of what's good, summary of what's bad, but now that that's all the way, I want to talk about the themes and the details that resonated with me. But beware, now I will be talking about spoilers. And let me tell you, this movie deserves a conversation in which you talk about spoilers because the themes represented in this movie are so good and so relevant to today that it's so scary and heart wrenching that it's showcased in such a dark, comedic movie. First off, the idea that masculinity and the importance of men is to work and earn a living and just earn money is so prevalent, especially at the very beginning of the movie, because they go to that meeting where, they're getting their mantra in their head that, even though I don't have a job, I'm not worthless. I'm still worth something. That was like, oh my God, like, ooh, it's pretty topical. It's very interesting, especially in today's job market where, let's be honest, with the increase of AI automation, which they cover in the movie, and the layoffs that we're seeing all across many industries, it is so prevalent and horrifying today. But I loved his representation in the movie. And I think it was very comedic of what it showed that this guy was so stubborn about wanting to do something with paper and he didn't want to consider anything else. And I thought that was crap. Like that is like the stubbornness of man. And then on top of that, you have the bundled of because there was no other choice, he decided he's going to make the choice for himself. And I love that his character was a gardener, and a gardener is focused on planting, watering your plants and watching them grow. But in the movie, he didn't act as someone who was watering something, waiting for his future to grow. He literally was taking out weeds. He was literally removing plants from it because he wanted to kill someone and then take that person's job, which I thought like that was like, oh my God, it's no other choice. But it was so funny that he was like, wait, before I kill this guy and ensure that there's a job opening, let me kill these other guys who would be my competition. And that's such a ridiculous thing because the whole time when you're watching him struggle to kill the other competitors, you're like, there's not even a job open yet. Like, what if something goes horribly wrong and now he's like in jail or whatever? There was no job opening to begin with. But, spoilers, everything works out for him in the end. And I loved the sort of progression that he did from becoming like a bumbling idiot when it comes to killing someone to by the end of it, he was like, oh, I know exactly how to make this look like, an accident by suffocating himself. So that was pretty crazy. I also love that his family was totally on board with him being a killer, especially the wife, because it was like, I want money. I want to afford that rich lifestyle and that so many people would be okay with. So that part was crazy. The only sort of bad thing that I would say was the first two victims of the killer was somehow linked that the detectives found out. And that was a little weird to me. Felt kind of random. But, you know, I love the movie regardless. And the last image of the movie of him successfully getting the job, of him being happy, wealthy, able to afford living at his old home, you know, his stubbornness paid off. Everything worked out in the end. He was there and there was no one else. Everyone had been replaced by AI and automation. And he was like, yes, he was cheering for it. It was so great. And you're like, damn, every single person got laid off and they're not doing well. He's doing well. He killed people, but he's doing well now. And it's like, damn, we're screwed, huh? There's going to be a lot of people who lose their job. Yeah, that part was haunting. And I loved the imagery of it. Beautiful movie. So, with that in mind, I would give No Other Choice a solid 10 out of 10. I absolutely loved it. It was so enjoyable to watch. So, there you have it. I give you my thoughts and opinions about what No Other Choice meant to me. And now I want to hear what you all think about it down in the comments. Do you agree or disagree with my opinions and the general consensus about it? Let me know. And if you've enjoyed this video, consider dropping a like and subscribing for more. As always, check the links in the description for my main video essay channel and my Patreon to support the channel and recommend media for me to review next. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.